Guys, good morning. Sorry being a couple of minutes late here on this edition of the Ben Garcia Show. A sneaky team that Kevin Durant could be traded for, and as well are the Cardinals, already the most disrespected team in the NFL. Let's talk about it next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
Good morning. Welcome in to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. There's a lot of things to get into today, and I didn't necessarily think that yesterday. As the summer progresses, as we get into the later, more warmer stages of the NFL, NBA seasons, the stories tend to wind down, but there's actually a decent amount of things to get to. We have Brian Gregory's press conference today, the president of basketball operations and general manager for the Phoenix Suns. I will be attending. I also think that there's a chance that if I might just do an instant reaction from from the actual event. So be on the lookout for that tonight as well. My thoughts, my opinions on the general manager's thoughts and basically all the jargon that they're going to sell us on. So we'll get to that in just a second. We'll talk about what we want to hear from Brian Gregory and the press conference tonight. But here's something interesting, and I didn't have enough time to change the graphics and get into it. So before we get into all that, good morning, Michael. Good to see you. Robert from Austin, Texas. Nice. Absolutely love that. Keep moving into this edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll get into the Brian Gregory press conference that will be later today in just a second. What we want to hear from them. And for me, it's going to be more talking about a clear direction and more hearing from him that he also knows that he is unqualified for a job. So let's talk about it from here. Which Michael's right. Probably will be coach talk. I didn't expect this to happen yesterday, and sometimes I like to predict the future a little bit and try to be able to guess where I want the show to go. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, oftentimes I'm right. Last night was a clear classic. I was wrong. You know, oftentimes in Game 7s, people always tend to think the team that is well-rested is always just going to come out and win Game 1. I've never seen it like that before. And in my opinion, watching the Nuggets and Thunder game from last night, this clearly didn't have a ton to do with it because the Thunder were up like 10 points with 6 minutes to go in that game. But what I will say is it feels like the team that comes off in Game 7, yes, they're tired, but they're loose. They just played a couple of nights ago against the opposing team that's kind of sitting on a little bit of rest. There is a chance for that team that played in 7 games to come out and steal one of the first 2 on the road. So I can't say I'm super shocked that the Thunder lost Game 1 at home. I am shocked the way how they lost it, which felt like inexperience. And that leads me to this. There is a Suns angle to this. If the Oklahoma City Thunder lose in the first round in the playoffs, like if the Oklahoma City Thunder lose prematurely in the playoffs, so that being right here in the semifinals in the Western Conference, if the Thunder lose in the Western Conference Finals, if the Thunder lose in the Western Conference semifinals, they're a sneaky team for a Kevin Durant trade. That is a team that has got so many picks. They are up to their eyeballs in picks. They have to move picks because they can't have as many selections as they do each and every draft night, oftentimes is the case. I remember last year, they had to give up some picks because they weren't able to draft that many players in the first round. The NBA won't allow it. So if there's a team that is a sneaky team for Kevin Durant and has all the players that you could be able to get in return, Hartenstein would probably come back, and There's like a Cason Wallace. There's one of the Jalen Williams, obviously the worst of the Jalen Williams, a Cason Wallace. In that trade with the Thunder, you're not necessarily getting back a ton of players, but a Caruso, a Hartenstein, maybe a young player. But you could get a boatload of picks back from the Thunder. Like the players on the Rockets that they would give you are a better collection of talent, like Jabari Smith and Tyree Eason. Like those two guys are clear, better talents than I think what you're going to get, and younger in terms of Hartenstein and Caruso. But if you're looking to reload on picks, the Thunder have it. They can give you 4 first-round picks and not even bat an eye. Now, you will also be dealing with what will they give you then in terms of players. But if you want players, you go to the Rockets. Eason, Jabari Smith, that's a good core of a trade for Kevin Durant. Of course, you'll get other things back, but that's the core. And if you want the Thunder, they have a boatload of picks. And if you are going the Brian Gregory hire, then Brian Gregory, who's a college guy, that seems like the angle you'd want to go. What the Suns are telling us is they would rather go the college drafting angle by hiring a college guy in Brian Gregory. It doesn't mean it's absolutely true, but that's the thought process that I'm walking down, is the fact that Brian Gregory is a college guy, and it seems like the Suns might be wanting to develop more through the draft instead of trading and making big splashes in free agency. They might just want to build their own path. So if you're looking to go through that way of thinking if you're willing to go through that line of thinking of you want to build through the draft and that's why you hired a guy in Brian Gregory, the Oklahoma City Thunder, if they lose prematurely in the Western Conference semifinals and they're already down 1-0 to the Nuggets and Jokic and Murray, both playoff risers, there's a chance the Thunder could say, screw this. We'll give you Caruso, Hartenstein, and just a boatload of picks. Because they have it, they could give it to you, and they would still have picks for another big trade. That's how many picks they have. So I know we've talked about the Rockets, and we've talked about the Knicks, but a sneaky team out there is the Thunder. And I know people will clearly point to the fact and say, what about Giannis Antetokounmpo? Wouldn't the Thunder just rather go get Giannis? They have the picks. They have the players to do so. Yes. Are you willing to give up Jalen Williams? Are you willing to give up 7 first-round picks? Are you willing to give up Alex Caruso as well? As well as, do you have the ownership to pay for Giannis Antetokounmpo? He ain't going to be free. He's going to take up a super max in terms of contract and percentage of cap. Also, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not going to Oklahoma City. So there's a few select cities that he would go to. The Oklahoma City Thunder are not on there. They're not a sexy enough city. The only reason why Kevin Durant works for a big star in him is because, say it with me, he played there before. There might be a reunion of sorts. It's a great story. He seemed to have liked his time in Oklahoma City. I was in the background. I was in the back watching him chop it up with old staff of Oklahoma City that he worked with. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's not going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. A guy with that kind of star power at his prime of an age of 30 is not going to the Oklahoma City to help further his brand. He's going to go to a much bigger market. Like, I'm so convinced that he wouldn't go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm more convinced, and this isn't going to happen, that he would go to the Suns, much less the Thunder, just given the fact that the Suns are a bigger brand. He's not coming to the Phoenix Suns, just so we're perfectly clear. That's just the point I'm trying to make. So if the Thunder, they prematurely lose in the Western Conference semifinals, there is a really good chance they could be a really strong suitor and beat out everyone else in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, and I would be interested in it. And I think Kevin Durant would be interested in it. So there's that. I didn't have enough time to change the graphics and get deeper into that, but that was something that I thought was interesting yesterday because, let's call it what it is. The Thunder blew that game last night. I still think they beat the Denver Nuggets, but let's just get it out there just in case. All right. Brian Gregory, and for the guys in the chat, Michael, Aaron, they're not getting your Giannis. Listen, man, I don't want them to trade your guy. I'm just reporting what's out there is all. Well, I'm just reacting to reports that are out there, all right? Don't go after me. I appreciate being called the sports guy, but come on. Let's live in the real world here. Next year, the Suns could be trading Devin Booker. And you could come back and mess with me about that. So, what do we want to hear today before we get into some Cardinals talk? From Brian Gregory, the new general manager of the Phoenix Suns, at his press conference today at 3:30. I will be there. I think I've decided I'm going to film a quick 10 to 12-minute reaction to his press conference and my opinion and everything. I'll probably do that right there on the court after, so be on the lookout for that. I might get that out there for you either tomorrow morning or tonight. But what do we want to hear from Brian Gregory? I think what's clear is we need to hear a clear direction from the Phoenix Suns. The issue for the Suns over the past couple of press conferences is we've just kind of let them off the hook because guys like me believed in Matt Ishbia. Thought he's a very smart guy, willing to spend money, but there's more to just spending money than when it comes to being an owner. So with Brian Gregory, we need specifics. I know Michael joked in the chat, or maybe not so sure, or maybe he didn't. We're going to get a lot of coach speak, I feel like. But that can't happen anymore. You've given us enough times to kind of guess what you wanted to say. You've went up there and given us nonsense coach speak. Oh, we want you to just be proud of the Phoenix Suns. Next time the Suns play and they lose, you're going to say, man, that was a team that gave it their all. They made us proud. Even in losses. And in wins, they're going to play a style of basketball that you're going to say, that's Phoenix Suns basketball. Totally fair. You can say all that stuff. What does it mean? What's the direction? What kind of player do you want to accumulate? Is it like when we talk about the Steelers, hard-nosed football team, a team that wants killers? Is it like what we talked about the Warriors for years ago? Is it finesse? Is it guys that want to come out here chuck threes? Or what style of basketball are you talking about? Because we thought we had an idea when you went up there and said, we want change. We want this team to be different. We want to do things differently. And then what happened was you gave us more of the same. So what needs to happen is the Phoenix Suns have to be very clear. What's the direction? What do you want to do? What type of player are you going to accumulate? And not just that. Like just move that to the side for a second. He needs to announce or talk about the elephant in the room. The fact that he is unexperienced. You could have brought in any random Joe Blow candidate from the NBA. And he would he would be more well-equipped for the job than Brian Gregory is. So I want to hear a candid answer of like, hey man, why in the world did you get this job? Do you understand that you are highly unqualified? Random guy from the NBA could come in and just give you a Joe Blow answer. It sounds like we're not going to hear from Matt Ishbia today. That's frustrating because the biggest thing Matt Ishbia did was puff out his chest and tell us all how he came out here and he took the arrows at the end of the season. He told us verbatim, not every other owner is doing this. I'm coming here and I'm being honest and we're getting to the root of our problems. That's great. Could you do that now when you hire someone who's clearly unpopular? So we need answers. We need answers to the Phoenix Suns season that went awry, and now the hiring of Brian Gregory, which I think everyone in the chat, although some people would say, well, let's just hear him out. Totally fair. I think everyone in the chat and everyone that's watching right now would also say, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, this guy is not equipped, and it's frustrating. So, need to hear some real transparency from the Suns and details on what it means to be a Phoenix Sun, what player they're going to accumulate, and to hear from him about his inexperience. What is he going to do? Tell us how college is going to prepare you for the pros. All right. Listen to that. Getting all jacked up here on the Ben Garcia show early in the morning. Let's talk about this. Let's move over to this side. Are the Arizona Cardinals already one of the most disrespected teams in the NFL? And what does that mean? Is that a good thing? Well, if I told you in the chat, and I do want to give you guys a chance, if you haven't read the article, to answer. If I told you post the Jim Tom Sula of basketball hires, potentially, that's funny. If the Arizona Cardinals post NFL draft, if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, where would you assume the national media, 1 through 32, rank the Arizona Cardinals in a power ranking? I would be really curious to think the people in the chat, the people that are active in the chat, to take a guess. ESPN ranked the top 32 teams in the NFL post-NFL draft. The Arizona Cardinals were ranked 20th. And what makes it even more funnier is post-free agency. The Arizona Cardinals were ranked 22nd in the ESPN's post-NFL draft rankings. 22nd out of 32 teams in the NFL. No mention of Kyler Murray, no mention of the quarterback position, no mention of Drew Petzing. Post-free agency ranking. The Arizona Cardinals, according to ESPN, were ranked 20th. Post-NFL draft, they are ranked 22nd in the NFL. So with that being said, are the Arizona Cardinals already one of the most disrespected teams in the NFL? And I see my guy Michael in the chat, 22. Aaron as well, spoiling it for everyone else. They put us at 22, but we should be at least near 16. That is what I think would be fair. At this point, the Arizona Cardinals, on paper, are a top 15 team. If they perform like that, is neither here nor there. We have questions about Kyler Murray. We have questions about Drew Petzing. Those two guys need to perform. But I'll tell you what, even with the questions of Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray, they won 8 games last year. With all the issues with Kyler Murray, last year, late in the season, horrendous interception after horrendous interception, Drew Petzing running the ball up the middle and running nothing but mesh concepts, they went 8-9. That's why expectations are so high for this team this year. Because this team got better post-NFL draft. And when you're talking about the additions that the Cardinals got in free agency, when you see ESPN rank the Cardinals 22nd in the NFL, 2 spots behind what they were posted at post-free agency, that just tells you the rest of the NFL world has no idea what the Arizona Cardinals have been doing. And I'm here to tell you, that's a perfect place for the Arizona Cardinals to be. The Cardinals are feeling themselves a little bit, right? All the way up from the bottom to the top in the front office. They got Walter Nolan, a guy that they felt like was a steal. And then round 2, Will Johnson comes around and just falls in their lap. They put guy after dude on the defensive line, and now you've got just a bunch of really good pass rushers that you can rotate in. I'm here to tell you, there is a 0% chance that the defensive line isn't moderately better at minimum next year. And this is the defense that was really bad towards the end of the season. And they fixed their biggest need. They even mentioned that in the ESPN article. So this Cardinals team is already being disrespected, and that's a perfect place for them to be. They've been feeling themselves a little bit. I told you, the viewer, the listener, the watcher of the Ben Garcia show, hey, enjoy it for a couple of days. Really good NFL draft. But then we're going to move on and be business per usual. The Cardinals have no place to feel like they should be a top 5, top 10 team. And they should feel disrespected. People don't trust Kyler Murray. They don't trust Drew Petzing. They don't trust that the defense is finally going to be fixed. That's a good place for you to be. Because at the end of the day, you haven't won anything. A division, a playoff game, a wild card berth. Nothing. So disrespected is a great place to be for this Cardinals team. look at ESPN and say, I see your 22nd ranking in the NFL post NFL draft. In fact, you dropped us a couple of spots after free agency. You had us at 20. Now we're at 22. Those are the kind of things you need to allow yourself to feel and go out there and prove the doubters wrong. This team needs to go out there and prove the doubters wrong. And to be fair, the doubters have every reason to doubt. If we're just being fair, the Cardinals are a mostly losing organization. Under Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, it feels different, but they still haven't made the playoffs yet. And that's what everyone's holding over your head. They're holding over your head. Well, the same old Cardinals, they'll find a way to screw it up. Oh, Kyler Murray, he'll collapse late in seasons. Drew Petzing, he'll never call a fly route. So it's time for the Arizona Cardinals to be able to change their ways. They need to see that everyone else doesn't respect them. Monty Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, the defense, they all feel like they've had a great offseason, and after improving their win total for a second straight season, going 8-9, it's time this year. You make the playoffs. You want the respect, you have to earn it. So if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you have no reason to feel disrespected or to, I guess I should say, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you have no reason not to understand why you're disrespected. ESPN ranks you the 22nd team in the NFL post-NFL draft and free agency. You know that free agency and NFL draft, we all agree that they aced? ESPN and the rest of the media does not care because they know you being the Cardinals will figure a way to trip over yourself. Kyler Murray will screw it up late in seasons, and Drew Petzing will be an abominable disaster. It's up to you to change their minds, not everyone else's. So feeling disrespected is a great place for this Arizona Cardinals team to be. Defensively, you are better. Offensively, you are better. I know that. The person that watches this team every Sunday knows that. You need to prove to everyone else that this isn't just a fluke. You're going to come out there and be one of the better teams in the NFL. And that's when you get your respect. And that's when you've earned it. But right now, no one's going to trust you. Because last year, you were 6-4 through 11 weeks, and you vomited all over yourself. Disrespected is a great place for this Cardinals team to be. You shouldn't feel yourself at all. You should come out of the gates swinging. And I believe the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a playoff team this year. Are they going to be an NFC West champion? I don't know. But are they going to make the playoffs? I believe that could be the case. Again, division champion? I don't know. But all of these predictions are just that, predictions, thoughts, spewing things in the wind. You have to make it happen. The offense is fine. Defensively, the team has gotten much better. I trust Jonathan Gannon, and Monty Ossenfort has continued to give me reasons to trust him. It's up to you to change the NFL media's mind. Don't complain about it. And if you're a Cardinals fan, don't complain about it. We don't have goodwill to be able to feel like we get to say this is why this team is awesome. No. You were 6-4 through 11 weeks last year and, again, defecated all over yourself. This team has the ability to prove the doubters wrong, and feeling disrespected is a great place to be. The last thing I would want this team to feel like is like they're going to come into the season and roll over some teams, because we all know there's a very good chance, because we all know there's a very little chance of that actually happening. So what I like is the Cardinals get a little knockback down to reality and get a chance to feel disrespected and continue to come out of training camp in the preseason ready to swing on any other team, because I know they're going to be better, but no one else knows that. Be the hunter, not the hunted this year. Feel disrespected. Prove everyone else wrong. Kyler Murray, have a chip on your shoulder. Trey McBride, they're already ranking a rookie tight end better than you. Defensive line, they just think you're a collection of talent and names. They don't think you're anything else. So, with that being said, you can feel like you're qualified for something. Like, let me tell you guys a story. I can't give you guys the full details of something, but I can give you just a brief idea. So, it's almost like if I got a chance to do something, right? I was in a position of field and I got an offer to go do something that I feel like I'm unqualified for. And everyone else thinks you're unqualified for. Job, whatever it is. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Just go out there and prove to everyone else that you belong. That's where I'm at with the Cardinals. And at this point, you don't have the job. You're going to have to prove everyone else wrong. And that's where the Cardinals need to be. Feel disrespected, move on, make it, like, really feel it, and then go out there and destroy these other teams. That's where this team needs to be. All right. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Remember, I will be at the Brian Gregory press conference today for the new general manager, and I will give a quick reaction, maybe 10, 12 minutes on the court. You'll literally see the press conference behind me, and I will be able to talk about all the things going on. I'll give my reactions to the press conference. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Come and watch the Ben Garcia Show every day at 7 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's really like 7, 10 a.m., but I like to get you guys in here just a little early and get you guys ready for the show. So it's good to see you guys. I can't wait to continue to talk about all this. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Ben Garcia Show. Follow me on all social media platforms, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.